Good evening and welcome to Stupid O'Clock. This is the Libertycon Debacle show for Saturday night. And for those of you who don't know, there is a sci-fi convention in Chattanooga, Tennessee called Libertycon. Originally, it started right around July 4th weekend, but because of all the other festivities in town, they've had to slowly move it back into the middle of June. And Dan, being an author, is one of the guests at that convention. And Stephanie, being an author, is one of the guests at that convention. And Joe, being someone who likes to get out and do stuff like a normal person, is one of the people attending that convention. So my normal group of miscreants is not here tonight. So I've decided to run the show anyway with a slightly new cast of miscreants. Now, of course, you know one of our old miscreants, the ever lovely Bill Sartain, and my two new miscreants, the ever lovely Carl Wisman, and his lovely second, the ever lovely Donna Carlene.
There she is.
Yes.
Look at this.
You didn't think I was here, did you?
And of course, we have our cast of characters that are following us. Hey, Sarah. And, oh, bless you. Okay. So,
I was going to stand for the Strasbourg banner, but I couldn't because I had a cat right at my feet. I would have stepped on. It would not have been
good.
No.
Is the ever lovely Carl Witzman.
yeah.
That too.
Technically, you do not have to stand when you're indoors for the national anthem.
Oh, okay.
But a lot of people do. When I was in the military, if you ever went to see a movie at a U.S. military AFES, that's what they called it, movie theater, they always started the movies with the national anthem. So everybody, all the military members would stand. Their wives and kids were like, "What the heck are you doing?" You know,
Down in front.
and
You got to teach those kids early.
I figured I've stood in formation holding the American flag enough that I'm allowed to sit down in my old age.
Oh yeah.
Well, who we got here? Oh, hey. Hey, Michaela.
Kayla.
Hey. And then
there's Walt.
And there's Walt.
Again. Thanks for coming back again, Walt.
So
he's one of my high school friends.
So once again, Dan, Stephanie, and Joe are down at LibertyCon. Joe might be on a little later. I'm not sure yet. So,
hi, Steve.
Hey, Steve.
Okay. And Brian K. Morris.
And here's
hi, Brian.
All right. This is
we need to get. Hey, I'm going to send Brian a link here in a minute and invite him onto the show too. Would that be okay, Brian, if I send you a link? Or are you busy right now?
It's a Jimmy Jean sausage link. You'll like it.
Put on some pants.
Yeah.
Okay. Now wait a minute.
Let's not have another.
You don't have to have on
day.
pants. You don't have to have on pants for the show. That is not a requirement. You do have to. You have to.
You just can't stand up.
Right. Well. Oh, hey.
Hi, Chris.
There's Chris.
Let me guess. Chris is at LibertyCon also.
Oh, yeah.
Well, apparently somebody's having some sort of internet there.
All right.
Brian will get on the show. He's got to get a shirt on. I will send him a link real quick. So if
while we're waiting on Brian, it's somebody's 80th birthday today, making us all feel old. Sir Paul McCartney.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
I posted a thing that his daughter Mary McCartney did in the Stupid O'Clock group earlier, thanking everybody for their birthday wishes to Sir Paul. But then later on, I thought that wasn't really much of a post, even though it was from his daughter. And so I went and did my homework.
Brian, I sent it to your Facebook Messenger. Okay, continue. Okay.
But anyway, I did my homework and
Not yet.
Put get your makeup on, Brian. Come on now.
Don't forget your fez.
He should still have it on since we were at a book show earlier.
But anyway, later on, I did put another post in the Stupid O'Clock group that has a little bit more legitimate and very lengthy thing about Sir Paul, and even included the Paul is dead rumors on it. So I won't read any of that on here. If you want to read about Sir Paul, go in the Stupid O'Clock group.
Michaela's all over the place. First she was on the Facebook page, now she's on the YouTube.
Yeah, well, this is the place to be.
Hey, I appreciate the hits. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she's running from the Facebook law, from the Facebook police.
One thing before we get started, I wanted to mention too, talking about the national anthem. Okay, a friend of mine who I used to work with, it has been chosen to sing the national anthem at Wrigley Field on August the 6th.
Who is this?
Oh, wow.
Her name's Susie Castillo Lucio, and she is a member of the Humor Group.
Yeah, I saw that.
And but she posted that she's going to get to sing the national anthem, and I'm like blown away by this. This is fantastic. So
my sister has two sons, and one of them, Connor Smith, is he is an up and coming country music singer. He actually has an album out. He just did his first concert at the Grand Ole Opry.
Oh wow.
That's cool. And apparently he's doing like he does baseball events and stuff like that. Now, I don't know if he sings the national anthem, but he sings. He's got this one song that's really good out. It's called I Hate Alabama.
Ooh.
It is not what it sounds like. Okay, it's a love song or a breakup song, however you want to put it. So. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I started the show, so I kicked the national anthem in. Of course, we all saw it because we were watching it. But what y'all didn't see is I forgot to hit start broadcast until about 20, 30 seconds in.
Hi, Ryan.
I noticed that over there.
Things happen.
I just don't have the muscle memory yet to do StreamYard. That's just all. I just don't do it enough.
No smoke, no flame, no problem.
Hey, nothing blew up. My computer's still working, and
There
apparently
you go.
you can all see me, so I must be doing something right.
Happy ending.
There you go. Oh, everybody's smoking cigars here.
Having a good time.
Well, I love smoking cigars. I just don't like doing it in the house for various reasons.
I don't have a cigar.
My first wife would have probably complained, but Donna doesn't. So she's in there too.
Donna
Strangely
can't,
enough.
since she also smokes them.
Let's see what I got. I've literally have them laying around all over the place. I just don't smoke them in the house. I don't know. Because it drives the dogs nuts. That and I'm upstairs in my bedroom doing the show. So literally right outside my bedroom door in the hallway, smoke detector.
Yeah.
So, that's if you're doing a show like this, that's one of those interruptions you really don't want
to hear.
Broadcast.
What's that?
Right, who we got here?
Never mind.
Catch up with the messages here. Okay. And then, hey, there's Ryan. Ryan, you're supposed to be on the show, dude. Come on.
Yeah.
Oh, did I not send him? I know I sent him a link.
I thought he had a link to the Stupid O'Clock
I sent him one.
thing link. Yeah, Ryan made me work today, of all things. How dare he?
Ace.
Wow.
But yeah, he picked out about five prints that he really, really liked, and you can buy my original artwork, which varies in price depending on how detailed and how much you want done on it. But you can also buy prints of my artwork for 8x10 glossy prints for $14, or 3 per 30. Basically, 3. If you buy 3 or more, it drops down to $10. So he bought 5 of them today.
Wow.
and made me work.
Oh,
And I had to go out and get new cardboard mailers too. I thought I had some left and I didn't, so had to restock those
that's
as well.
why Bill Waterston quit drawing Calvin and Hobbes. It got to be too much of a job.
Yeah.
I'm telling you,
Sometimes
I wish he'd come back.
Oh no!
Sometimes it is a job, you know.
Mhm.
Well, it's demands. You got every syndicated newspaper in the country saying, "Hey, we need more Calvin and Hobbes." He's like, "Hey, I'm drawing with watercolors as fast as I can."
He's painting. It's like, Alex Ross, we want you to do a weekly comic book.
He did 5 black and whites, just inked cartoons during the week, but on the weekends
Mm-hmm.
he did the watercolor, and he literally used watercolor. Beautiful artwork. If you're familiar with his work.
Oh yeah.
We have
Not
all
just-
these books.
Not
Yeah,
just the
we
cartoons, but how he did it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just beautiful stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And nobody's done anything like that since. Well, I take that back. There is one person who does something like it. Are the artists that do Prince Valiant.
Mhm.
Yes. Yes.
He actually, his artwork is so good, he actually had to dumb it down
Mm-hmm.
so that they could print it on the color comic pages.
Mm-hmm.
Because he does his artwork in like 32 colors,
Oh.
but the newspaper can only print like 16.
Yeah.
So he literally has to, I mean, his artwork's beautiful, but he has to dumb it down for the comic pages. And it's, hey. Oh, thank you. He's such a lovely person. We
Yes, he is.
need to get him on the show sometime. Haven't seen him yet.
So we're still going with the cover story that the rest of the guys are at a sci-fi convention instead of letting everybody know they've actually been abducted by aliens.
Oh,
Oh, did I look
Just
that out?
We knew that years ago, though, Donna.
now wait a
The-
minute.
the
Just
Men in
because
Black
they're at
are
a
gonna be-
sci-fi convention doesn't mean they weren't in abducted by aliens.
Ooh, true.
True. That's true.
I'm here.
Whoa.
I got loose.
He survived the anal probe.
Did you get probed? Yeah.
Oh,
Who's next?
Tell me,
Hi, Joe.
have they done the anal probe yet?
I don't know that. Never mind.
Okay.
I'm sure you would know if they had.
Yeah.
Let's just say it wasn't the anal probe, but it damn sure was close to the prep work for it.
Oh my!
Look, Kayla was dang busy.
Gosh.
We had a book signing book show. John's putting on his glove. Look out. Get right, please.
John's going to do a puppet show now.
I'm not getting that done till August.
We had a great book show in Peoria today.
Yeah.
And yeah, Brian was trading and bartering books and everything else out there. And the rest of us were sitting at the tables going, okay, I guess I ought to talk to somebody.
He escaped, Ryan.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the duty of every prisoner to escape.
I'm not going to be on long because I've actually been down there since 9 o'clock this morning.
Wow.
Lovely.
Since everybody's
How-
on the show, I'm going to show you exactly why I didn't go down to the convention yesterday.
Oh,
Hey,
Okay.
Blake.
Yesterday morning, I'm making breakfast. I made a scrambled egg sandwich. So I'm sitting there eating my scrambled egg sandwich. Now, when I went to Iraq a few years back, I had some dental work done. They check your teeth before you go. And for some reason, the dentist who did my teeth wanted to put in cosmetic fillings because they were front teeth.
Yeah.
So instead of putting in the nice silver ones that pretty much last forever, she put in this white resin enamel stuff where they had to use a UV light to cure the stuff. They did that. And they were, if you like eating, these things suck. They just don't hold up with it. So, and a few years back, the tooth broke. So I've been running around with a broken tooth for a while. I didn't think much about it at first. yesterday I bit into my scrambled egg sandwich.
And that happened.
Eek.
Ugh.
He's doing his David Letterman impression.
Okay.
A piece of lettuce yanked my tooth out.
Wow.
That's my life. So yes, I've had my first major senior moment. I'm actually losing teeth now. I'm gonna figure out how to fix this. I think I'm thinking JB Weld, but I can't find it in white.
Okay.
I saw that girl.
Maybe just some white paint over it.
You know, they got this stuff called
John, I got it.
Hey,
John, chiclets. That's all you got to do. You just shove it up there.
I
There
actually
you go.
thought about a Tic Tac right there.
Hey,
And-
super glue and a Tic Tac.
Get the gold tooth. Just
Now-
Get a
Oh.
grill.
All right, then get an orange Tic Tac.
They got this stuff at the hobby shop called plasticine.
Yeah.
And it's like you
Mm.
mold it to
Yeah.
whatever you want, then bake it at 350 for like 10 minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
It turns into this hard plastic. I'm seriously thinking that. Yeah. Of course, I've been looking for an excuse for a 3D printer.
Oh, there you go.
You heard about that one guy? He wanted to get those Invisalign retainers, but they cost hundreds of dollars per month or something like that. Just ridiculous, the subscription to it. But he went to the dentist, and the dentist actually did all the work to get him that stuff. He just couldn't afford it. Bought a 3D printer.
Yeah.
And made his own Invisalign. Found out all the stuff for it. Bought the material and 3D printed his own Invisalign and fixed his own teeth. High school kid.
Wow.
Well, John, I'll tell you what. I'll break out my 1968 Mattel Thing Maker, and I'll make you a new tooth. Now, it's probably going to be shaped like a mini dragon, but that'll be fine. I can get it in colors of looks like avocado green and chocolate brown. So it's your choice.
I always liked the Harvest Gold. Actually, if you can.
Harvest Gold. Okay.
Harvest Gold. That's one of my we had a refrigerator like that, and I always thought that was a good looking refrigerator.
We had the avocado green one.
If you lose enough of them, John, you just finally just say, forget it. And they were trying to give me false teeth with my top teeth because I've lost them all. And after a while, I was like, no, it doesn't really bother me much, except when sometimes I'll say something and whatever. But it
I can't
irritates
wait.
my wife, so whatever.
I can't wait until the next time I bake corn on the cob on the grill and start eating corn. I'm going to leave one line every so often down.
You think you're getting hand-me-downs from Alfred E. Newman.
You know what's funny? That tooth was crooked anyway. You know how you get that one tooth sometimes that'll start canting?
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
And I'm actually, it's strange enough, it sounds terrible, but it actually feels better now the damn tooth's gone.
Oh
And
yeah.
I've had all my
You'd be
wisdom teeth pulled. And I don't know, my jawbone is kind of weird. My jawbone is about twice as thick as the average human jawbone. And every dentist I've ever gone to is like, who the hell put this jawbone in you? It looks like something from a Neanderthal.
Well,
and
John, that's because you got a jawbone of a. No, never
an
mind.
ass, yeah.
Never mind.
Actually, the ass has the jawbone, but but it's twice my jawbone, and there's this spot underneath your jawbone, big hollow spot, and there's this. We were doing combat training, and it was hand-to-hand combat. And they said if you have to push somebody down, put your hand up against their face and take your thumb and push it in there, and you can control their head that way because it hurt. There's a nerve there's several nerves in there that you can poke with your thumb. And the guy asked me to stand up and be a demonstrator. And he tried that on me, and I was just standing there while he's like, "How are you doing that?" And he's like, "Damn, where's?" He's trying to find this point where these nerves are. And I'm like, I'm just standing there, and he's like, says, "I have a weird job on me." So, oh, well, let me get somebody else in.
So you're the one they sent out on special missions.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I'll never
Hey.
get him.
I know what's in the box that says "Top Secret Battle Monkeys." Okay. I know what's in that box. I'm not allowed to tell because it's still operationally valid. So I have to maintain OPSEC. I'm not allowed to tell you what's in the box, but I've
The
seen
box that says what?
"Top Secret Battle Monkeys."
Okay.
You should know. You're the one who posted it.
Too long. I haven't had a nap today, okay?
I have,
Oh,
which is
okay.
why I decided to run the show tonight.
And I think Chris is tapping out on us.
Oh, is it? Oh, there.
Chris, tell everybody good night down there. I did run into Dan,
Oh, good.
and Dan,
Stephanie?
I saw Stephanie, but Dan had just come from a panel that there were 5 on the panel, and every time somebody messed up saying a word, the whole panel had to take a shot. They killed a half gallon of Kraken.
Oh boy.
Uh-oh.
So Dan was
Okay.
Feeling pretty good.
Who passed out first?
they all walked out.
Oh,
Well,
They
that's
all
good.
walked out.
Not in a straight line, but they did it.
Yeah, they walked out. And Dan rounded a corner and disappeared, and we haven't seen him since.
Oh, jeez. Oh, poor Dan.
somebody should have made sure he made it back to his hotel room because he's in a
Yeah,
strange-
he
he's in a
might be
strange
on.
city. Okay.
He might have wandered off onto Lookout Mountain or something.
Well, I'll put it to you this way: if he sat down anywhere, he was done for the night.
Okay.
Seriously, he was to the point that if he was doing last man standing, I would have to wake up and come in and close the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Brian, did you see the new feature in the videos?
I don't think I have yet.
If you go scroll to your videos,
Okay.
it says, or video clips, it says loop.
And you can loop
Oh
the
yeah.
video clip over and over and
nice.
over.
Ooh.
You know this short 4-second one.
Yeah.
Run it all night.
Now let me hit loop. All right. There's your 4 seconds.
Yeah.
Nice.
Going.
Uh-huh.
And it's still going.
Yeah, like they had in OBS for like years now.
Yeah.
Hey,
Nice.
Brian,
Thanks, Joe.
did you know about the theme music that they've got?
If you scroll down past your background pictures, we can have
They actually have background music.
Yeah, I played some the other night on Comic Book Spectrum, and I don't think everyone appreciated my taste in music.
Oh,
it was at top volume too.
and John.
No, it's only at about 30% volume.
I told you that Zetho music was not popular anymore, Brian.
I
Serious.
refuse to believe that, Bill.
I need
No, I know you do.
favor tonight. Do not play any videos from YouTube or anything.
Yeah.
Because I've been getting copyright
Yeah.
claims.
Really?
Yeah.
Jeez.
But the thing is, I get it on all 3 of the Facebook channels that I stream to, but it's never the same amount of time.
I was getting that for a while from, I don't remember the name of them. In fact, I may have even told you about it, Joe. But, they would basically claim they'd send me like 3 or 4 different strikes, and or actually claims, not a strike. And then they would between all three, it was basically all of the show. And I wrote back saying, cut this the hell out, because most of the show, like about 99.9%, is generated by me live. So I basically shot one across 6 inches below the water. Actually, what happened was they dropped one claim. Then they made another claim against another video. I referenced the previous letter's date and said I'm going to report them to Facebook for harassment. And they stopped.
Yeah.
There's some bot out there that's doing it. And I imagine.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
There's lawyers
There is.
involved. It's either trolls or lawyers.
Probably mostly
Or
trolls.
trolling lawyers.
I was going to say, can you differentiate the two for me, please?
Yes. There are some things that a troll won't do.
Good point. Good point.
Michaela wanted me to mention earlier, but it's too bad she had to leave. While we were at the book show, I was sitting down and she came by. She stand up, and I felt bad. You know, gentlemen, you know, you always want to let a lady sit down. So I said, "You can sit right here on my lap." And she says, and I said, "You know, it won't make Donna jealous, but it will make Brian jealous." And she looks at Donna, and like Donna's kind of like, you know, whatever.
I was too busy flirting with Jackie to really pay attention. So
I noticed that. Yeah.
I'm gonna put Brian on the spot here real quick.
Okay.
Brian, explain to us what is going on with your shows, because I know you're kind of getting out of one show and going back into another one or something like that. We were discussing it earlier, and I just wanted to get it all straightened out real quick.
Okay. Well, as soon as I do, I'll get back to you. No, I am, as of July 4th, I will no longer be hosting, never mind the furthermore, except on a occasional basis when Nick Tockert, my hand-chosen replacement, if he's too busy or something, I might be able to step in. Now, what I'm hoping to do is move into longer form pre-recorded stuff. Plus, I'm going to be bringing back Clever Title Pending. To start, I will be co-hosting with Kara Nicole. And I can't get anybody to believe that I love her for her brains. She's a very attractive cosplayer, smart as hell though, and you know, and we share several stories that I really can't say on the air. They're a bit of in dubious taste, but no, we're going to start out talking about like comic books, some issues that are plaguing creators, and help them step up their game. And then Kara's going to step down after a while because she's busy too. And I'm going to continue the show, but we're going to do more stuff about like prose writers and help people get through some of that stuff. You know, similar to what Michaela J does every other Monday night on author Michaela J's channel, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. # always promote.
Yeah.
So,
And when
don't forget it's called Tidbits and Scribbles.
Tidbits
and
and Scribbles.
It will be this coming Monday.
Yes.
And, what day are you going to be running this in time, Brian?
Me?
Yeah.
What, the Clever Title Pending?
Yes.
I haven't decided yet. To start out, it's going to depend on Kara's schedule.
Okay. Because on Tuesday nights we're doing What is Halicon?
Yeah.
On our Halicon channels, and you will be a guest on it. I'm telling you.
Yes, dear.
I'm not asking. I'm telling.
I noticed that. I know when I'm being voluntold. So.
You've been voluntold, yes.
Yeah. And I'll be bringing Carl and Donna on too. We're going to be bringing guests, vendors, and attendees on to tell about the Halicon
experience.
About the experience.
Yeah.
Oh, and Brian and Carl, y'all should have been at Libertycon today.
Why were we not invited?
The American Bodybuilder Federation was there with their national competition. Or their
Wait a minute. Was this part of the convention, or were they just sharing space in the convention?
sharing space in the convention center.
Okay.
And it was the women's.
Oh, I was gonna say if it was the guys that Carl and I wouldn't want to embarrass them.
No, they decided that they were going to do a photo shoot on the balcony of the Trade Center Rotunda.
Okay.
Okay.
In sequined thonged bikinis.
Well, I'm glad it wasn't the guys now. Yeah, that works out.
Needless to say, the convention come to a grinding halt.
You think?
I bet it did.
I reiterate, why weren't Carl and I invited?
It was one of those that do you know who Cindy McLeod is, John?
Or maybe.
She's changed her name now, but used to do Anachricon, hung out with William McLeod. Needless to say, I was talking to her, and this started happening. I'm sitting she's sitting here, windows here, and I'm over here looking at her, and I'm going, I'm sorry, Cindy, I've got quite a distraction over here.
Okay, just so y'all know, this is the Marriott Hotel over here.
Oh.
This is the Trade Center, and you see the walkway there to get between the two. That is the Rotunda area he's talking about. With the outside
and they were on the corner up there.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, okay.
The parking garage is underneath there, and this is the north end of the Trade Center. It runs a block the other direction. So.
A block? Hell, it's 3 blocks. It is 3 blocks long.
Wow. And the building on the north side,
right.
the janitorial staff is squeegeeing off the saliva.
Yeah.
Come on. Uh-oh. All right. My Google broke. Okay.
Oh, no.
You broke Google.
But, yeah,
Not
needless.
damn time. I've been trying forever.
I turned to Cindy. I said, Cindy, I love you, sweetie. But
I got to watch this.
No, I said, I'm a married man, and my wife is right there. I got to go. So I walked off, and I come down, and Donna goes, what did you do? I said, I haven't done anything. And she goes, what's going on? I said, I told a couple people, I said, don't go up there. Don't go up there. They walked up there and went, oh my God, there's half naked women on the balcony.
Don't look, Ethel.
To quote Sam Kinison, we are a notch in the Bible belt. Okay?
Tried to warn her.
All I'm going to say is I hope to God a lot of that was spray on tan, because there's skin cancer in some of them girls' future.
Well, those chemicals in the spray on tan can't be all that great either. Probably just as toxic.
You know, I was just joking about how Chattanooga is kind of a notch in the Bible belt, but to tell the truth, on any given weekend, if you're walking around downtown, you're liable to see a guy carrying a cross.
Yeah.
Like every weekend. Okay, so we are that, big a notch in the Bible belt.
And Ryan says, if you need a guest, give him a call.
Okay, we'll get you, Ryan.
We had a guy in Danville that used to go around with a huge cross, but he kind of cheated, because I think Carl and Donna, and maybe even Brian, if you might remember this guy, he used to walk up and down by the Romaine County Courthouse all the time with it, dressed in his Jesus robe and his Jesus sandals, and had this cross over his shoulder. On the bottom end of the cross, it had wheels, so he wasn't actually carrying it. He was just kind of wheeling it. He might as well had been pulling a shopping cart or something.
I can't remember what the church was, but they had this guy that would dress like Jesus come out and carry the cross, and they would hand out literature. And somebody from the local college, to basically troll them, dressed as Jesus, but he made a motorized cross out of an electric bicycle and would ride around in circles while they were sitting there trying to hand out their literature.
I like that. I like that.
Come to our church, the Church of the Motorized Jesus.
I like that. Motorized Jesus.
This has possibilities here.
Yeah,
Next week, we're putting in an 8-barrel. So.
Thanks to Johnny Depp, we have mega pints of Sacramento wine.
There you go. I like it.
You know, what lawyer? I mean, how stupid a lawyer do you have to be to use a term like mega pint? And have you seen? I don't know if you've seen the video. He asked, and you went up, and after the fight, you went upstairs and poured yourself a mega pint of wine. And Johnny Depp does the comic double take, like, what?
And when you have boggled Johnny Depp's mind, you know you have done something noteworthy.
Yeah.
Because mega pint, okay, mega meaning million.
Yeah.
Okay. 1 million pints of wine. They don't have anything that you can pour that'll hold 1 million pints of wine. And secondly, they don't have anything you can pour it into other than a swimming pool that will hold a mega pint of wine. And I mean, and what kind of lawyer uses that kind of lingo?
The same kind that objects to their own questioning.
Now that was another good one.
Very much.
He objected to hearsay, and the judge looks at him and goes, "That was your question. How can you object to your own damn question?"
Apparently, it worked.
No, it didn't.
No.
Not enough.
He
But
was
I-
an idiot.
The mega pint was just one mega pint or mega pints?
Well, it said you poured yourself a mega pint of wine, I believe was.
Yeah, see, that makes no sense because
That's called a winery.
that is a vat. Okay, it's like, yeah, it's about half.
I was thinking maybe a converted water tower.
Hang on a minute.
You okay, Carl?
Okay,
Do I need to
that
come
is-
back there?
Okay, let me see. I gotta. How many pints are in a gallon?
no, I'm fine. Thanks.
Eight.
There's 4 quarts to a gallon, be 8 pints.
That sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
I said 8.
I agree with Donna.
8 pints in a gallon. So you divide 1 million by 8, you get 125,000 gallons.
That sounds about right for Johnny Depp.
Yeah, it sounds like a green.
Well, it
room.
sounds about right for Captain Jack Sparrow.
Yeah.
I don't know about Johnny Depp. But
Yeah.
yes.
Well, you got to remember, he lived with Hunter Thompson for how many months when he was prepping
6
for
or 8.
Yeah. And
Fear
I
and
don't
Loathing
think,
in Las Vegas.
I don't
No
think
offense.
Hunter Thompson was drinking wine. Exactly.
If your wife takes a crap in your bed just for fun, I could see 250 or 1,200, 1,000,
Yeah.
125,000
I drink,
gallons of wine. Yeah,
I drink.
Well, Hunter Thompson used to drink wild turkey all the time, but I don't think it was really so much what Hunter Thompson drank. It was what he was
it was what he
injecting
was
into
doing
his
while he was
system.
drinking. Yeah.
Well, that too. Yeah. I'll tell you what. My shot glass was dirty, so I'm just gonna have my rum out of the bottle like Johnny Depp.
You stud.
So I wonder when this alleged appeal that Amber Heard swears up and down that she's going to have, because it got awful quiet after the decision was made and the verdict.
I got one more little quickie on the 125,000 gallons.
Mm-hmm.
That is 12 and a half gasoline tanker trucks full of wine.
Yeah.
Womp womp. Your line's clear. It's-
I could see that in Deb's driveway.
I was gonna say it's like those pilot 18-wheelers that say, we got coffee on board.
Yeah. Follow me for a hot cup of coffee. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one.
12 and a half of those.
Yeah.
Wow.
'Cause
We're
they-
headed to Deb's house, and looks like we got us a convoy.
Because they haul 10,000 gallons of
Yeah.
fuel.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
That's almost enough.
Yeah. It would certainly put you sideways for a
Yeah.
while.
no, that's Dan tonight.
Is this Dan tonight?
Well,
Yeah.
No, Carl, because we know where you are.
Hey, honestly, we had to get Dan under control in the lobby because he turned into Green Room Dan.
Oh no! Oh,
Oh, dear God.
I goes, Dan, this is Libertycon Saturday. It's not the Green Room. He goes, oh fuck, it is, isn't it?
oh, poor Dan.
There was a Nobel Prize winner, and I'm trying to remember who it was and what he won the Nobel Prize for. But where he lived in town was near a brewery. And the brewery was so impressed with him winning the Nobel Prize that they ran a line to his house and gave him free beer for life,
Whoa.
Ooh.
which is another reason to go for the Nobel Prize.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
now there's a good reason to do it.
There you go.
He's
And
my
I'm-
award.
but he didn't get a
A little
bell.
bit, Brian. Just a little bit. I wouldn't worry about it.
Okay,
I'm sure you'll get your beer pipe soon.
I'm hoping, by God. Hook me up some Guinness. I'm ready for it.
Oh yeah, it wouldn't be too far from Five Guys. Was it Five Guys? What's
Nine
the name?
Irish.
Five Irish. Yeah, just
Yes.
have them run a tap out to you. You'll be fine.
Just so y'all know,
Work for me.
the guy was Neil Bohr's. Or,
Oh.
I'm sorry, Niels Bohr. Pronounce that.
Mhm.
Niels Bohr. Let me see. And let me see, was it? He was Danish. He lived in Copenhagen, and the Carlsberg Brewery gave him a gift, a house. They gave him the house located next to the brewery, and the best perk of the house, it had a direct pipeline to the brewery, so that Bohr had free beer on tap whenever he wanted.
Ooh. Do they mention which beer?
Carlsberg.
Carlsberg. Well,
Yeah.
there you go. He's set.
That
Which
works.
they're still in business. They still make a beer.
And Donna thinks it's hard to get me out of the house.
Carl would never see daylight again.
Why would I need to see daylight?
Point taken.
Or if he did, he would see 2 daylights.
Yeah, that's true.
I'll get my suntan from the one in the middle.
Yeah.
Hi, Kitty. I've got a visitor. Charcoal has come in here to visit me and meow for some
Did I
reason.
tell you guys what I was thinking about doing to Dan and Stephanie? My catnip plants, after that last rain we had a couple weeks ago, my catnip plants have exploded. I've got catnip all over the place. I thought about grabbing some of that fresh catnip, taking it down there, and sneaking it into their luggage when they head home.
Oh,
As long as it's their luggage and not ours.
Yeah, you know, when they're older, most cats will, chew on the catnip and they'll just lay down and be like, "Yeah, man, I'm cool. Everything's
man.
fine."
Yeah,
Dave's not here.
You give it to kittens.
fill it up, man.
Kittens act like Bill Sarton on Black Rifle Coffee. I mean, oh my God.
Never again.
I
Never again.
I rescued a cat
Yeah.
and I brought it home. And we were out in the yard doing gardening, and my parents had put catnip all down one fence line in our yard. So we're out there pulling up weeds and stuff, like planting rosewood, bush, whatever. And the cat's out there playing with us. He went over there in that catnip garden, and you could see his head pop up every so often out of the catnip. And you could see the catnip moving as he was running around down inside of it. It's really funny to kind of watch. And he came up to one end. He like ran up to the end closest to me, poked his head out, and he had this look on his face like, "Is this stuff legal?"
Yeah.
Funny. Guys, I'm done. Yeah. It looks like you got everything under control, John. But
Me?
Yeah, but like I said, please don't run.
You really are tired. Go to bed.
You're delusional, I swear.
See,
I got this under control. You're really suffering, man.
I didn't even shut the door behind me. That's how quick I was running in here.
Hope you get some rest.
Yeah. Of course, I got to be up at 7 in the morning to get my shower and
Get back over there.
get back over there.
I think Ace Bonnie invented a new expletive here. Jesus on a jazzy. That would be just something you'd say, like, Jesus on a jazzy, Joe. Get a nap.
There you go. Orta Vallarta.
All right, everybody. If John falls to sleep on me, just try to message me.
I'll message you.
I don't know if I'll hear it, but just message me. I'll come in and, see, I'll push this button here, and then I'll push this button here. Show ended. I need to make an overlay of that because that would be so funny. Just see the look on somebody's face.
Your show is
Ace thought that was funny.
There you go.
All right. Good night, y'all.
Night, Joe.
Night, Joe.
Good night, Joe Dog.
Enjoy your convention. Oh, that hum went away too.
Who? What?
When he was on, there was a hum the whole time.
Yeah.
I think that was his fan. Maybe.
He has his
Because he
fans
didn't
on.
know the words.
You could do that, but dump there, John.
Wait a minute.
The good one with the kid.
Bill. Oh, do I have to do that now? Why do I got to do all this? Oh, that's right. I'm running the show. Okay.
That would be why.
Three hours.
There we
Joe
go.
left the loop button on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I didn't see it at first, and I didn't think I was going to see it, but I saw the last 2 seconds of it.
The third time's the funniest. It really is. You have to see it at least 3 times. Yeah.
I don't know if Brian saw our other one.
That is literally the definition of comedy. Is the timing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's also the definition of brotherly love.
Sharp kid. He's sitting there watching that. His friend falls, and what's the first thing he thinks? He's not going to ask if his friend is okay. What does he do? Put him. Okay.
Priorities. Because priorities.
Then go help your friend.
Talk about a show.
Friend.
Talk about a show with timing. Okay, I'm watching, and this is all new to me because when this show came out in 95, 96, I'm sorry, I was married.
80
It was either 1995 or 1996. I can't remember when this show came out. But anyway, Third Rock from the Sun.
Mm-hmm.
I never got to watch it back then because I was married with a wife and 2 daughters. So, there were priorities and my priorities didn't count back then. We had to watch Goosebumps and Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood of Make Believe and
just be thankful you don't have Paw Patrol back in those days.
Yeah, well,
my mom has foster kids. I can tell you every damn thing about Paw Patrol.
Oh God.
And I just visit.
Well, Laura was a foster parent, and she had to watch Barney all the time. So I don't think mine was quite as bad as hers. But
I think that's actually in the Geneva and Hague Conventions now. is you're not supposed to force
I
people
would
to
not
watch
watch it.
Yeah,
ever.
you're not supposed to force people to watch that anymore.
But so now I'm watching Third Rock from the Sun basically for the first time. Cozy TV's been showing it on every night at midnight. And
Okay.
so anyway, I'm laughing myself to tears and possibly urinating because I'm laughing so hard between Lithgow and French Stewart. I mean, they're all great. You know, Kristen Johnson is funny. Jane Curtin is hilarious. They're all great. But Lithgow
it's comedy gold.
Oh my God.
It's like royalty, you know.
Well, and speaking of that, I mean, the other night I saw the 2-part episodes with John Cleese in it, and I got to thinking that's the kind of comedy that Lithgow is doing. Lithgow he could be like a brother to Cleese, or what their comedic timing and everything.
Python, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, yes, very much so. And I'm loving every minute of it. But it's been keeping me up till 1 o'clock in the morning.
Speaking of the Monty Python, if you folks have not seen this movie, you absolutely have to go find a copy of it someplace and just sit down and watch it. It's Yellowbeard.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Donna is not shaking her head profusely. I take it she has not seen
She
it.
has seen it, but she's probably thinking, no.
No, it's
Because
you know, remember I'm a Python fan, so yeah, it's cool.
Oh, okay.
Monty Python, okay, Peter Boyle,
Mm-hmm.
okay, Marty Feldman,
Mm-hmm.
Darn it, I'll remember his name. You had Cheech and Chong,
Mm-hmm.
and was it Spike Mulligan?
Yeah.
Was it that? Yeah, he was in. And
Yeah.
it's if you ever get if any
It's
of our fans
hilarious.
are watching this because darn it, I'm so terrible with names. I hate this. That is my one thing I hate about Sarah. Sarah, if you have not seen this movie, because Sarah was asking us once a while back about movies.
Oh, yeah.
If you have not seen the movie Yellowbeard, do yourself a favor and watch it because it's a pirate movie, most of it.
Mostly, yeah.
Yeah.
See, John, Peter Cook,
Oh, yeah.
Eric
Madeline
Idle,
Kahn.
Madeline Kahn. That's the name I was trying to
Yes.
remember. Madeline Kahn.
Kenneth Mars.
And
Susanna York.
Susanna York.
Wow.
Every comedian that was great in that day was pretty much in that movie somewhere.
Peter Bull, Bernard Fox,
Who was the
Ronald
one-
Lacey.
Who was the kid that was from Kids in the Hall? The British
Bernard
comedy.
Fox, Ronald Lacey, Monty Landis.
He played a lieutenant.
Oh, that's right. David Bowie was in it.
David
Oh,
Bowie
yeah.
was in it, but David Bowie had a bit part in it, and
Well, Marty Feldman, he was in pre Monty Python Cleese comedy bits.
Mm-hmm.
I posted one to Stupid O'Clock group a week or two ago where they were doing, it was like two schools competing against each other. And Cleese was the, what would you call it? The one that operates both sides, not commentator, but the one in charge of the operations of it.
overseer.
Yeah, he would be the one asking the questions and telling him it was the right answer or not.
Moderator.
Yeah.
Moderator. Yeah. and Feldman was just freaking nuts in it. There's parts of it where they would be one school, you know, and they're wearing the little knickers and the little hats and everything, dressed up all like Angus Young, basically. And then when they do the other school, it's supposed to be all women, so they got to quickly change, and Marty's putting this wig on and everything, you know, with the big buggy eyes hanging out. And it was just hilarious.
Wow.
Let's see. Now, where were we before we got off on our comedy track?
We're talking about timing. Someone was mentioning
Comedic
timing.
Comedic timing.
Comedic timing. Which
I think that's part of the reason why a lot of comics have gotten into like using cigars or drinks as a prop, because it gives you that beat. You sometimes need to let the audience think for a bit about it.
It gives you, it buys you time and gives you pause.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes a cigar is just a cigar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Burns is an excellent example of that.
Mm-hmm.
To quote
Sometimes
my
you-
second favorite psychologist. Yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead. Oh, Sigmund
Second-
Freud. Yeah. No, sometimes you have a joke that you need to tell, but the punchline isn't until later. So you tell the first part and then take a draw and then tell the rest.
George Burns being the prime example.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Groucho Marx, we know, but George Burns had this great joke he used to tell. So he would sit there and he'd be smoking a cigar on stage, and he'd look at the cigar, real thoughtful. He'd go, he says, my doctor told me that if I wanted to live longer, I should quit smoking cigars. He takes a puff. He died 20 years ago. I'm like,
That's funny.
which, you know, George Burns lived to be 100, and you know, and probably everybody that told him you need to do this if you want to live longer died before he did. So,
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, that timing gives that audience a chance to mull over what he's just said, and then when they're thinking, "I know where he's going with this," you go the other way.
Then you get the comedians that I love it. It's what's called a setup.
Mm-hmm.
The straight guy. They'll tell the joke, and the straight guy's just sitting there listening to joke. And the guy comes along and gets to the end of the joke, and the straight guy just looks at the audience and like, you know, it's those were always my favorite, because there was always somebody that was just sitting there like, listening to joke. Joke gets to the end, and he just kind of, you know.
Love it.
And they're usually sexual innuendos, which
For those kind of, yeah.
Well, I think Jack Benny was really good about doing that type of look or stare, because he was always playing the straight man to Dennis
Chester
or Rochester, or one of them, you know. Don was another one, but anyway, usually it was either Dennis or Rochester about what one of them would say, and then he would do the famous look with his hand up by his chin. But Johnny Carson one time talked about the cigar thing, and this wasn't involving a cigar, but he was talking about a lawyer or somebody. I can't get it all exactly straight, but I remember enough of it to get the point across. The lawyer was trying to talk to the jury, and he had a cigarette in his hand, a lit cigarette. And so apparently this had to be during a time where that was allowed.
I don't know that they've ever allowed smoking in a courtroom. I just think
Nope.
remember that you're not allowed to have food, drinks, cigarettes, or anything of that nature. And
apparently, what Carson said was that he had the cigarette lit in his hand, and the way that he kept the attention of the jury the whole time, I don't know if it was during deliberation or what, that the jury was watching him and paying attention to him, not so much to what he was saying, but the ash was getting longer and longer and longer, and they were waiting for it to drop off. And the guy got to the end of what he was going to say, and it never dropped off. And somebody went up to him and said, "Why did that not drop off?" And he says, "Well, oh, this cigarette." And he pulls the straight pin out of the middle of it that held it on.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
just a tactic. Yeah.
Mhm.
There was this scene in the movie A Time to Kill. Okay, Matthew McConaughey and Samuel L. Jackson.
Okay.
And he's telling the jury, he says, I want you to close your eyes and I want you to imagine, he says, I want you to imagine everything this little girl went through. And it describes everything this little girl went to. And then just to make sure to punch it home, while everybody's got their eyes closed and he's describing everything this little girl went through, he goes, now imagine she's white. Just right at the end of it, and just like literally, bitch. It's like the Three Stooges. He bitch slapped one of them, and all 12 of the people on the jury felt it. Okay. And they all like looked up, shocked, like, you know.
Oops. That's funny.
Oh, what's his name? He played the prosecuting attorney, and I can't. Damn, I'll remember it later. But anyway, he thought it was an open shut case, just because this guy had shot these two rapists, and they were being taken into the jail, and he ambushed them in the courthouse where the jail was, shot both them and shot the deputy that was escorting them, and shot the wound on the deputy. They wound up having to amputate his leg because of the wound. And they thought, and it's if you've never seen that, that's another good movie to watch. I hate that I'm terrible with names. I can actually. The writer, he writes a bunch of courtroom novels.
John Grisham?
Thank you, Mr. Grisham. Didn't he write A Few Good Men?
Yes, I believe you're right.
Because that was back when they were turning all of his books into movies.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. Somebody like that will write a bunch of books, and they write books like over several years, and then they sell the rights to the books to the movie company, and the movie company will inundate you with every movie from every book, just like,
oh, please. I'm waiting for the contract.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
I can say I knew you when, Carl.
That's right. Clyde Hall said he ordered that book today, and I said, well, you'll probably get it and have it read by the time Brian starts his, because I know his pile is like huge now.
I've got a friend
about my shoulder.
I got a friend, and I can't mention the name or the book, but he wrote a book, and HBO optioned the story.
Oh my!
Okay. So we can't talk about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, and I'm pretty sure the only reason they optioned the story was so that Showtime or, AMC couldn't buy it.
Ooh.
It's one of those kind of things. So. But what do I know? For all I know, it's in pre-production. So
Could be.
they probably got a bunch of script writers looking at it, going, "How?"
I was going to say, how much of his rights are they going to take away from him?
Right now, I don't think he'd care, because it's like his biggest book. But... No, sir.
Good night, Sarah.
Yeah, it's funny how your views change on things, because when I was younger, and I'm watching Ted Davies do his optioning and all, and I'm like, well, you want to hang on to the rights, and you want to be sure you do all this and do all that, and it'd be really nice to have your book turned into some sort of movie type creation, whether it's live action or animated, whatever. When you're my age, you're like, just be sure to put enough zeros on the end of that check and take it, go. Yeah.
You're older and wiser now, Carl.
I'd be one of those people when they came up with the contract of how they were going to turn my book into a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm going to keep this. I will get back to you eventually. Or if they say, well, you can't take it with you, you got to leave it in the room. Pull out a highlighter. No.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
No. And just start every page. No.
No.
Yeah. No. Okay, first thing, I get total creative control. If you don't like it, we're done. Secondly, the producers do not get to tell me how to make a movie. Their job is money. That's it. You give me the money, the directors and the writers make the movie. You guys interfere in any way, you owe me $100 million every time you interfere. Every time you have a creative idea about how to make this movie, you owe me $1 million. Okay. So if it's a really good idea, yes, call me, pay me $1 million, and maybe we'll use your idea in the movie. So if I don't like it, you owe me $10 million. So think about it. Before you call me, think about it. Don't just call up and say, hey, I'm the guy with the money. This is what you're going to do. No. I'm the guy. It's my story.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what money is? A piece of paper with a lot of ink on it. That's it. Ain't worth crap until I make the movie.
I'm thinking it sounds like my autograph scam. I will sign any of my books for free, but if you don't want my autograph, it's an extra 20.
When Abraham Lincoln was a lawyer in Illinois, nobody wanted his autograph.
Mm-hmm.
When he made president of the United States, everybody wanted his autograph.
Yeah.
After he got shot, everybody else wanted those autographs. Okay, that's how you got to think about this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
There was this thing in Tsar Nicholas's palace called the Amber Room. I don't know if anybody's ever.
Oh yes.
And during World War II, the Nazis took over that particular part where that palace was, disassembled the Amber Room, and were taking it back to Germany. Because strange enough, it had been built by Germany as a gift to the Russian Tsar back before those wars.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, there are several theories on where it went. They think it might have got put on a ship that got torpedoed and sunk with the ship. They think it was in a castle that got bombed and it's buried in the dungeons of this castle, because apparently I can't remember who it was. The Russians built a palace of the people, cultural building, big ugly fucking building, on top of this palace site and destroyed what was left of the palace because the palace caught fire and maybe all the amber burned up during a fire after the bombing. There's all sorts of theories about where this thing went. So the Russians went and rebuilt it. I think the Germans helped too. I think it was part of the war reparations after World War II. So they actually helped build same craftsmen actually got called in, the same family.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Well, same company that did the original one did the second one, I think, or their descendants, or slave labor, something. But so the Russians have a new Amber Room, not the original one. But can you imagine if they actually dug up underneath that castle and found the original one? The one that's there now essentially becomes completely worthless. It's like,
that's funny.
Speaking of digging up something, finding or possibly finding something valuable. I heard this story on WBBM radio out of Chicago the other day. Apparently, they in the original Tribune Tower building that used to be the home of the Chicago Tribune, there were 2 time capsules that were discovered from 1917. They're pulling them out, and they're going through, and there's a lot of typical stuff from that year that they're pulling out, looking at. But one thing that they pulled out that was the most intriguing was a baseball. There was no literature with it. There was no autographs, signatures, nothing on the baseball that normally wouldn't be on a regular baseball, but it was in this time capsule. What they're believing that it may be is one of the baseballs from the 1917's Black Sox scandal, where the White Sox threw the game with the Cincinnati Reds, you know, Shoeless Joe Jackson and all the rest of them. They have no way of proving it right now other than it's a baseball in a 1917 time capsule. Why on hell would somebody put one in there? And they would say that would be the only reason why. Well, then why would they not put any literature or anything with it? Well, it could be something there.
Yeah, how does the newspaper not put literature with something?
Well,
isn't that their job?
Not very proud of it, I guess, if you're a South Sider, but
Well,
that's the thought right now.
It's kind of like when you're thinking, oh yeah, I'll remember to do that, you know, and you don't because you didn't write it down or put it on your calendar. But you think,
or you're going through your desk drawer and goes, "Hey, I meant to put this in the time capsule." You know,
exactly. And I'm wondering if they thought when they put that baseball in there that this baseball will be remembered when we put it in the capsule, and everybody will pass the story on to their kids, and everybody will know what this baseball's for.
I know where the baseball came from. It was Captain Sisko's baseball from Deep Space Nine.
Oh,
It got sent back in time.
There you go.
It's a future Star Trek episode that we haven't seen yet.
Yeah.
Follow us for more life hacks.
I think it could be the doctors.
I should write for Star Trek. Okay, that's just all right.
There you go. There you go. Oh,
I should write for Doctor Who. I've got a couple of good episodes. I've got a great South Park episode that I was writing.
Ooh, okay.
Only problem was Isaac Hayes quit for religious reason, and after that I said, you know, I'm not going to give Trey Parker and Matt Smith. I think I'm not going to give them my episode. It's too good for them.
You show him, Dan. You show him, John.
There is a picture of Abner Doubleday and a bunch of other Union Army officers playing baseball at Fort Pulaski near Tybee Island, Georgia, outside Savannah. And it is supposedly the first picture of a baseball game in history.
Cool.
He didn't invent it. He invented it at a different fort. Apparently, he was an engineer or something, and so they kept moving him from fort to fort. But they took the picture at Fort Pulaski, and if you go down there, you can see a copy of it. And it's one of those old-fashioned where they had the silver glass slide pictures like that, which are cool as hell because those things last forever as long as you don't put them out in sunlight.
Right.
And I got to thinking, I wonder what they used for a baseball back in those days. Because they didn't, we all are familiar with the official baseball nowadays. Yeah. But what did is that what he invented that? I mean, who invented the actual ball?
I'm sure it looked a lot different in those days.
Yeah. It probably would. White leather was not a thing back in those days.
Yeah.
Wasn't it made out of horsehide back then?
I would imagine so.
Probably.
A lot of horses got killed on battlefields, so there was horse hide everywhere.
Yeah. True.
But I got to thinking, can you imagine you're digging around Fort Pulaski one day and you dig up the original Abner Doubleday baseball? Okay. And strangely enough, what got me thinking about it, there's a well at the fort for groundwater, because if you know where it's stationed, there's the Savannah River comes down this way, and then there's the ocean, and they're surrounded by salt marsh, so the water there is real horrible. Okay. It's one of the things, being an engineer myself, combat engineer, I got to thinking about that. What the hell did they do for water? And of course, there's that well out there. Of course, the well's now filled with dirt. I got thinking about it. With all the incredible engineering that went into this fortress, I wonder what they did to the well to get drinking water. How did they process water back in those days?
Yeah.
Did they put calcium carbonate down inside the well? I mean, is it a sand and natural charcoal? I mean, what did they filter it? Did they boil it? Was there a water distillery here at the fort and that sort of thing? If you've never been there and you get a chance to go down there, I highly recommend taking the Fort Pulaski tour. It's a brick fort, one of the big star-shaped ones, big artillery fort covering the entrance to the Savannah River. Whole thing's made out of bricks. It's on an island in a salt marsh, okay? Which, if you're building a fortress out of bricks on that type of terrain, you're going to expect it to basically, sink into
Yeah.
Something
may occur.
It never settled. Whatever they did when they built it, solid as rock. The brick walls never cracked. Now this it's 300 yards on a side almost. Not one crack anywhere around it. And it took an artillery bombardment back in the day. There's one side of it with big divots in it where the artillery hit the bricks and tore out huge craters. Not a crack. I mean, you expect to see those, cracks in the mortar?
Yeah.
Let's face it, nobody can build a house out of brick these days without 10 years later you got all them cracks running down the side of the brick wall. This thing's been there over 160 years, not one crack.
Wow.
And that's engineering we just don't even think about anymore.
Yeah. Well, even like the Romans who built the aqueducts, you look at those that are still standing and you think to yourself, how did they get the angle just right? Especially in areas where it's mountainous. So you really can't tell how high you had to be off the ground. How did they figure all that out to get that water from one place to another and do it correctly? They
had their own math back in those days.
Yeah.
Like the pyramids, it's kind of funny. The pyramid's been there for 5,000 years now. And it's like every decade they find something new about the pyramids in Egypt that they're like, how did they do that? That's why people believe aliens helped build the pyramids. Is because every time they look at it, they find just some new, incredible bit of engineering that they cannot believe that existed back in those days. And the simple fact was, that's how they did things.
John, I think I have an answer for you on what the original baseball was, because it goes, well, I know Doubleday was a Civil War veteran and hero, but baseball, not by that name, goes back to the mid 18th century. And it was actually a child.
Cricket, if you say cricket, I'm kicking you off the show.
No, round ball. No, Dan's not on the show tonight, so you won't hear the word cricket. But school children in Stoughton, Maine, as well as other children in towns and cities across the country, played a game called round ball. Format of the game was to throw the ball at the batter as he rounded the bases. If the ball was hit,
this sounds remarkably reminiscent of dodgeball, only with a wooden stick.
Yeah.
well, that's about right. So if the batter was hit with the ball, he was called out in addition to receiving a nasty welt. But the balls were made of an ounce or two of lead wrapped in yarn and then covered in leather. And they said the crudely made balls came apart easily, and the games were held up with constant repairs. Can you imagine somebody throwing a yarn-covered lead ball at you?
Yeah.
Once. Only once.
Yeah. Right.
Oh, God.
It adds new meaning to the term. You're out.
Yeah.
Wake up! Yeah, wake him up! Somebody get some smelling salts. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, in the private chat, I put in the Wikipedia has a page on baseball.
I saw that. It didn't tell. And I'm looking at it intermittently here while I'm talking to you guys.
Yeah. Well, now that my job here is done, I have to take my leave. I've got to be up early for an event tomorrow. So, thank you for inviting me.
When is your next show?
My next show.
What is it?
As far as broadcasting?
Yeah.
A Monday morning, 10 o'clock. I still have 2 weeks. I put in my 2-week notice on Friday. So
He's working out his 2 weeks notice. Gotta love it, man.
I know.
Unless we see you on Court TV where Amber Heard is suing you for whatever reason.
Check
for
your
not
bed.
changing the sheet.
It involves bed sheets and fecal matter, though, I bet.
Not on my half. Anyway, so it's been fun. Carl, Donna, it was great hanging with you today.
Oh,
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, and it's been great hanging with you guys too. So thank you again for inviting me, and I will see you all later. Take care.
Later.
Later, Gator.
Thanks for showing up, man. See, I was actually worried that this was going to be the John and Bill show tonight.
Well, think about Thursday's show, and then Ryan came in, and we got to go and sit back and take a breather.
You know, that's the strange thing is between me, Joe, Bill. Well, basically, you know the crowd. We know enough people in science fiction that we should be able to get lots of people on the show.
Sure.
I would still like. I mean, I got to tell Joe. He needs to talk with John Ringo. We'll see, because I mean he's at Libertycon, and I see him every so often. I don't go to. He doesn't go to Chattanooga anymore, as far as I know. He's cut down his convention schedules for reasons, but he does show up at. He's at Libertycon, and we need to actually get him on the show one night. I don't know if he's got. I don't know what his internet's like. So,
I got into a chat yesterday afternoon after posting something on Facebook. Hey, Nick. Dick York once again got passed over for his posthumously his star on the Walk of Fame.
Oh.
He's been much like the Monkees with all that on the music end of it. Dick York has constantly been overlooked.
Yeah.
And of course we know him best for Bewitched, but my God, look at everything else he's been in, including one of my favorite Twilight Zone episodes, and where he sees the people in the platoon who are going to die. And so I put that on there, and because his son Chris is a friend of mine on Facebook, I just kind of tagged him in on the post. And we got into a chat about that afterwards, and he just says, you know, you wait every year. But then he told me some other stuff about you got to show this stuff to get that star too. And we got in, which I won't repeat that conversation, but it's very interesting, and I totally believed it. But I wish I could get him on there, you know, talk about that. That just some of the stuff he was saying was amazing.
Who actually pays for those stars? to put them in? I mean, because they must cost something.
Hang on a minute. I'll look it up.
I wonder if that's. I wonder if that's where that comes in too. You have to probably
not
yourself.
I bet the Screen Actors Guild and all those other idiots.
The amount that he mentioned,
Uh-huh.
the amount that he mentioned would be more than just the actual
the Hollywood
price
of
of
Fame
doing
is administered by the Hollywood Chamber of Commerce, who
Oh.
holds the trademark rights and maintained by the self-financing Hollywood Historic Trust. Is popular tourist attraction with estimated 10 million annual visitors in 2010.
That could explain it if it's done by the visitor center and the city.
But that is more than it. I mean, my God, if you just charge them $1, something as measly as $1, then they have more than enough money to do the stars for
it's a Chamber of Commerce.
Virtually everybody.
The more tourists come in and spend money at all those restaurants and stores, and, everything else. And then the people that run those stores pay the Chamber of Commerce, and the Chamber of Commerce smokes a lot of cigars and does their, Cosa Nostra impersonation, like we own Hollywood. I had an idea a while back. And I was walking through Costco, and when I got the idea, you know how some of these stores have their store brand, okay? And Costco has Kirkland. Do you remember the generic things that I'm going to say Bruno's used to have? The Bruno's food chain.
I wonder if that was like the one Eisner and those guys had, where it was green or yellow and white.
This particular generic brand, and it's the first original generic brand that I remember. They had beer, white can, black label. All it said was beer, and they had they had like macaroni, spaghetti sauce, and they were all had the white label, just the black stenciled letters for the generic product. And I got to thinking about that. I said, Hollywood is missing out on an opportunity. You ever see a movie and the guy will be drinking a beer or something like that, and they'll have a weird label on the beer bottle, and you can kind of recognize it. It's a Coors label, but they put a label over it that just says beer, because they don't want to advertise for them for free, or they don't have permission or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I got thinking about it. It says, the Hollywood Chamber of Commerce needs to start a store like Costco, that all they do is Hollywood brand items, like Costco does Kirkland brand. They have a Hollywood store. Everything in there is Hollywood brand items. And they get all they get Coors to do their beer, and whoever to do their bread or whatever. And a whole store like that. And they have T-shirts with the Hollywood brand logo on it, and clothing, and just everything. And the idea is not only is it a tourist attraction that you can go buy Hollywood brand, but then you can move it. They basically say anybody that's doing a movie in Hollywood can use the brand without having to get permission.
Right. Yeah.
So that anytime you see a movie, everybody in the movie is drinking Hollywood brand beer or eating Hollywood brand bread or whatever.
Yeah.
Wearing Hollywood brand shirts.
It's funny that your green screen obfuscated your beer while you're doing that. Yeah, exactly.
It's
Chattanooga brand beer.
Near beer, and you can't see it in there.
Here's what's funny.
Yeah.
Okay. There's my celery in my Bloody Mary there.
Ooh, wow.
But it's kind of funny. If I turn it, the light hits it differently.
Yeah. Weird.
Turn it upside down and see what it does.
There's here I put my finger through.
Yeah.
What was the yes, for our home audience, I am using a green screen. And just yeah. I figure it looks a lot better in my closet door.
And I heard Stephanie got her green screen the other day.
I got that. She got the green screen. I think she got the one that attaches to the back of your chair, and it's the big fan type thing.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
She's thinking about. For those of you who don't know, Stephanie's thinking about doing her own show. Okay, and it's all her Rocket Mama, meteorology, geology, and
Yeah.
science fiction stuff that she does, which is cool because she's got a lot of time on her hands these days. And I can't wait to see what she's planning on doing.
Well, if that green screen kind of attaches to the back of the chair and fans out, like you said, I think of the perfect one that she ought to do is the time machine, because that's how it was shaped.
The H.G. Wells time machine.
The movie version. Yeah, the older movie
There were
version.
two movies. There were two
Right.
movies where they used the same time machine, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The first one was with Serling. Was that his? What was that actor's name? Was Rod Serling? No. Rod something. I don't remember. But yes, I'm looking it up.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It could do something like a time machine, but the trouble with backgrounds is that you don't want to block too much.
Rod Taylor.
Taylor, yeah.
Rod Taylor.
Yeah.
And the lovely Yvette Mimo.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She's good.
And then, let's see. And then the one I was thinking of, the other one that I was going to mention. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, no, that ain't it. Hang on, that wrong one.
This actually shows it better. See, so if her green screen kind of fans anyway, that's the obvious choice to have behind her.
Oh, well, okay. Yeah, that would work. Yeah. Head on like that, you meant. Okay, yeah, that would work.
Yeah. Laura went to bed, so you three are allowed to say dork. Because I'm sure she would want me to want somebody to call me a dork by now. So
Malcolm McDowell played in a time machine movie.
Was that Time After Time?
No, that was the one with Christopher Reeve. But
oh yeah.
But I think it was called H.G. Wells Time Machine.
Oh, okay.
Back in the 70s or 80s, late 70s, early 80s.
Which was the one where he was chasing Jack the Ripper?
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was a good movie. That was.
It was, and what's her name? Mary Steenburgen played the love interest.
Oh yeah, she's good.
Well, I've said this before, but my favorite movie about time traveling, it was the not Monty Python, but Monty Python movie, funded by George Harrison, Time Bandits.
Time Bandits.
That just has everything. I mean, that was. I was going to say that was E.T. before E.T. as far as the type of kids.
Time After Time. That was an H.G. Wells. It was called Time After Time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And David Warner played Jack the Ripper.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, he's good.
And of course, he's also in Time Bandits as the evil.
Warner
just perfect.
Did a great job.
Now, the other Time After Time was the one with Christopher Reeves and
what was her name?
Yeah, beautiful woman. I can't remember her name. Sad but true. I'm getting older. But and that's the one where he mentally projected himself back in time. He got infatuated with this woman, and I love the ending. Just killed you though.
Yeah.
She was talking about how goofy his suit looked. He had gotten what he thought was the perfect Victorian suit made before he went back in time, and everyone kept talking about how goofy his suit was. When he actually went back in time, all these Victorian people are like, "Who the hell made your suit? Where did you get that goofy suit?" And she's talking. He's getting dressed because he has to go do something, so he's putting on his suit. And she's like, where did you get that horrible suit? He's like, what do you mean horrible? It's got, the pockets, and he reaches in the coin pocket, pulls out a penny in the coin pocket, looks at it. It said 1978.
Yeah.
And it sent him back. And he just literally disappeared, faded away from going back in time. He went back to his real time in 19 whatever, and couldn't get back to her. And he wound up killing himself. That was really, but he wound up in the movie. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
He winds up getting to be with her. What if a movie's over 40 years old? Is that considered a spoiler alert?
I don't think so. I think you've had your chance to see it, and now,
Well,
Maybe Ryan or
everybody dies
Caleb haven't seen it yet.
spoiler alert: everybody dies in the end.
Yeah.
He dies, she dies, everybody dies.
And of course, I say that having earlier said I've never seen Third Rock from the Sun before until now.
Well, you don't get to see a lot of stuff, and then sometimes somebody will bring something up, and you're like, "Oh, I want to see that." Don't spoil it.
I was in the military in Germany. We had Armed Forces Network television. They showed a lot of the network TV, but it was always like 3 to 5 months after it aired in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
So if you had friends in the United States, they could record you like a month's worth of VHS and send it to you, and you get to see it before anyone else in the barracks did.
Oh, yeah.
But if you waited until it showed up on AFN or movies or anything like that, because the movies in the movie theaters were 3 months old too.
Mm.
The problem was you did an 18-month or 3-year tour in Germany. And if the movies were like 3 or 6 months behind the times in Germany, when you left Germany back to the States, there was this 3 to 6 month period where you totally missed popular culture.
Yeah.
You were 3 to 6 months behind the times.
Uh-huh.
Everybody's like, didn't you see so-and-so when it was in the movie theater? No.
Yeah.
Oh, one of my favorite ones. One of the new Star Wars movies came out.
Mm.
We were in Iraq, and one of our medics was a really big Star Wars fan. Okay. He took his leave to be home on the night that the Star Wars movie came out.
Wow.
Now, here's what's funny. He gets on the plane. He's on his way back to the United States. He's on his way back to wherever he was in the United States at the time. We already had an Iraqi bootleg copy of the movie.
Ooh.
Like the day he left, we already had a copy of the movie. We got to see it before he did.
Oh.
And we were literally, everybody was arguing. We were taking bets over whether or not we should call him and tell him all the spoilers. And it was one of the, I want to say it was Attack of the Clones. I can't remember exactly.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it Attack of the Clones or Revenge of the Sith? One or the other.
Mm.
We called him and said, "Hey, we just saw the new Star Wars movie. We got an Iraqi bootleg copy on it. You want to know how it ends?" And he hung up.
Yeah.
And wouldn't answer our phone calls. So we send him text messages like, "Don't make us tell you."
Oh yeah. Well, it sounds like poor Donna is losing the battle here, and I'm just about to myself.
Okay.
Guys, we were glad to help fill in.
We only have 20 minutes. We only have 20 minutes of the show left. If you want to stay, that's
Yeah.
great. If you need
We can vamp.
I think we'll probably lose the battle in 20 minutes, if not.
Hey, Bill, it is going to wind up being the John and Bill show.
Yeah.
Why does it sound
We kind of thought that Thursday night too for a while. So.
No, Joe was around.
Well, that's what he said. The Joe, John, and Bill show.
Okay.
And then we have.
If you guys do need to get out of here, go ahead and get out of here. I will go
Yeah.
ahead. I will go ahead and thank you for showing up and helping me run this thing. While because I didn't expect Joe to be on tonight. I was shocked when he actually showed up right at start time.
Yeah, and Carl has to get up early for his Sunday morning covert grocery shopping, weekly grocery shopping. So
Yeah.
Thursday morning, I couldn't sleep Wednesday night, Thursday morning.
I like to get up there at Meyer when they open at 6, and there's hardly anybody there, and I can zoom around except for not hitting the pallets of food they have out.
Got to get that cat food.
I got up, got my shower, got my shave, went to Ingles with the old folks. Got in there. There were maybe 2 cars in the parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
I made 3.
Yeah.
So I literally increased their customer load by 50%. And got in there. And just like you said, I figured I'd get in there, zip through, get my shopping done. No. They literally had pallets of product in the aisles.
Yeah.
I would go down to get what I needed and then have to go all the way around another aisle and come back on the other side of the pallet.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, the thing is, they're always hiring. I may actually go down there and put in an application. Just like show up like 7 o'clock in the morning, start downloading pallets.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh wait, who is it? Okay, did you talk about?
I didn't know if that was Dan or who that was.
It's Facebook user, which I believe there's a few billion of those.
Yeah.
Well,
I hope they find Dan.
Yeah. Dan, do you need rescuing from Lookout Mountain? Hi, Glenn.
I don't think he can make it up Lookout Mountain.
Hey, Glenn.
That's a long, curvy road.
Yeah.
The incline railway is closed, so I know he didn't get up that way. And there's only 2 roads. Well, 2 actually, 1.5 roads that get up Lookout Mountain.
Yeah.
When I say 1.5, it starts off as 2 roads coming from either end, but eventually they meet, and then it's 1 road. So
okay.
John, you're underestimating Dan. That's all I'm going to say.
I think Lindsay would probably find him and bring him back down the mountain.
Yeah.
Lookout Mountain is like a middle upper class neighborhood. You don't just wander around on Lookout Mountain this time of night.
Okay.
Yeah, the LOPD are pretty good at rolling people back down the mountain.
Hey, while Glenn is still out here, I want to wish him and his lovely bride a happy 12th wedding anniversary.
Yeah. There you go.
Seeing your pictures that you posted.
Glenn's in England, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Actually, here it is right here, the lovely couple.
Do you think that's a few years ago, or you think that's...
I don't know.
Well, the man's right there asking.
We need to know when that picture was taken, Glenn.
Well, that was one good thing about getting up so early. We had a 3-hour drive, but there was no one on the road.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
And it was really cool that they allowed us to park underneath the Civic Center in the garage where the semis and everything offloaded.
Well, we get to do another Elk Grove trip Wednesday morning, and going up 57 with all that construction right now, and on a weekday, I'm not looking forward to it. But Laura's actually going this
I got to
time.
go see what this dog's barking at.
Okay.
Coyote.
June of 2010 when the photo was taken.
Oh, okay.
It's
All right.
a wedding picture another day.
Yeah, it's funny how Facebook will get on there, and like I saw Glenn's and his wife's picture on there, and about their anniversary, and then I scroll down the newsfeed, and about the next 4 are all somebody else's anniversary on this day, and it does that with birthdays and everything.
Oh yeah,
and then one of the my friends. One of my girls that worked out in the garden center department with me before she got to be an assistant manager over at Menards. She was getting married. Her soon-to-be husband popped the question, and I've seen pictures of engagement rings and everything on there, and it's like, oh, you think of them as your own kids when you work out there, but had a whole slew of them. And then the other one that used to work out there last year, she had her first child, and I kind of had the same feelings back then, but Facebook inundated me with a bunch of anniversaries that my friends were celebrating today. And
once it starts and you read one of them, it's like, oh, hey, you may want to hear about somebody else, and pretty soon it's people you barely know, and then it's people you've never heard of before, and you're like, what the heck?
Well, like I mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast about Paul's birthday, when I saw that, I actually saw it yesterday. I can't remember whose feed that was off of, but anyway, now today, that's all I'm seeing off everybody's, and people. Elton John was at a concert, and I guess after one of his songs, he sang "Happy Birthday" to Paul, which of course Paul wasn't there with him, but just wherever Paul is celebrating his birthday. But
Elton can afford the copyright fee charge.
Yeah. Well, I have a friend, Jim Toronto, that he's been to over 200 Elton John concerts since 1976. He used to be an on-air personality for WGN, and Gary Meyer nicknamed him Elton Jim because of this. And he's actually been mentioned by Elton John during concerts, and Elton John has actually dedicated songs to Elton Jim, which of course he doesn't call him Elton Jim when he's dedicating the song. He'll say Jim Toronto, and that's But good night, Walt.
Night, Walt.
Glad to have you on there.
That's sweet, Glenn. Not all of us can meet a significant other in a bar when he's hitting on their best friend.
I've never heard that happen before. Have you, Carl?
It could happen. It could happen.
Love is a mini splendid thing.
Yeah.
I was hitting
on the 2x4.
I was hitting on Donna's best friend, and she gave Donna a look like, help me, please. And so Donna came over to help and threw herself
on the ultimate sacrifice. And threw
herself on the grenade.
Yes.
Saved her friend. Yeah. Her friend's probably pretty glad because I hear she's like an old school teacher or something. I
was going to say, what's she done for you lately, Donna?
What, kidney? Was it a kidney or a liver transplant?
I haven't even talked to her in ages.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
We're friends on Facebook, but you rarely touch base.
You lose track sometimes.
Really. You don't touch base, they'll tag you out.
She got a little weirded out by our lifestyle.
It happens.
Well, I have a friend that since just about the day that we moved here from Cherokee, we were friends forever for 40 years. And then he just weirded out and he became a recluse from society.
Oh, that sounds so nice.
Yeah. And
good John.
So where's he work? At the VA. Which is the truth. He works at the Danville VA. And but and his birthday's on May 1st. He's a May Day baby, and so every year I'll post a happy birthday to him, and I still have his cell phone number, which I hear it go to voicemail, and it's his voice on there, so I know he still has it. Whether it's I guess it has to be active if it goes to voicemail, but he never returns the calls. And but I think, okay, well, that's his choice, and I don't know what's going on in his life, but I just think, well, I just got to pray for him and give him space.
Well, sometimes as you get older, you'll get calls or messages, and you're thinking, oh, I got to answer that person back. And then you don't right away.
And you forget.
Later on, you forget, and then it gets further and further, and you're like, well, if I do it now, they're going to think I'm wanting something off of them. And
that's how it's kind of funny. In the military, you live, literally, they're your roommate. You're living in the room with them, sharing the showers with them, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
And just closest brothers, even closer, And then all of a sudden you get a change of duty station. And just nobody wants to write letters or email or any of that sort of stuff like that. It's kind of funny. I'll get those
drop
Facebook
off
messages.
The face of the earth.
Yeah, I'll get these Facebook messages out of the blue. Hey, haven't seen you in 30 years. And it's kind of funny. I go to a lot of these professional military websites for engineers, 11 Charlie, people handle demolitions, whatever. People that were in. I've got one for the Berlin Brigade when I was stationed there.
Okay.
And I got onto that one, and I would post something. I'd post a picture that I had from Berlin Brigade or something like that, and people would go, I remember you. You were that guy that did that thing with the thing, and everybody laughed.
You were that guy that did that thing. That says it all.
It was somebody else. Who did the thing.
You only got about 6 minutes here to be just John and Bill. I'm headed out.
Okay.
I think so.
Thanks
what
for
that
having
means?
me.
Good night, Donna. Thank you for being on the show.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. But you know what time it is, don't you?
Yeah.
Night, guys.
Yeah.
Good night.
Everybody who might still be watching, Glenn, night.
We actually had quite a few in the chat tonight.
We did. Speaking of which, since I'm sitting here kind of running the show, I want to thank everybody for the comments tonight. That was nice of y'all to come on the show. Because I'll be honest, 2 hours before the show started, I was desperate for content. I was looking through news articles, and I was like, there's absolutely nothing I want to talk about tonight from the news. And
I was desperately writing content for the Paul McCartney thing that I posted in Stupid O'Clock. I'm thinking, okay, what do I want to include? But I wasn't sure that there would be a show, and then I got to think, oh yeah, you didn't go, but I didn't know that you would want to do a show.
I guess everybody just expected me to show up and get a ticket and start doing stuff. They usually do, but I'm like, well, hey, if nobody's going to ask for help, I'm not going to just show up.
Well, after you said that you would, and then Ryan kind of chimed in there, and that I actually called Sarah on the phone, and I said, there is going to be a show tonight. And I told her, I said, it might just be me and you. And she's okay, I'll get on there for a little while. And which I know she doesn't stay on Saturday nights more than an hour because
that is one of the problems with the Saturday night show is it starts at 11, doesn't quit until 5 minutes from now. And it's hard to do. I mean, heck, the Thursday show at 9 o'clock sometimes is hard to get onto.
Right. Yeah. And I get it. And she has the perfect excuse because she has to get up, not only go to church, but playing the piano at church in the morning. So that she's done now for decades. And
Can she play Indigata Davida?
I think so. They do have an organ there. Yes, folks, go to the Ogden United Methodist Church tomorrow morning and see what Sarah plays.
Iron Butterfly, Indigata Davida.
Take your lighters with you and start saying "Free Bird." But,
you know, we need to do that. Show up at her church one morning, everybody gets a lighter, like, you know, it's like the next hymn will be Free Bird. No, not
which
free.
I know you don't know this, but Ogden, Illinois, which is west of me about 8 or 9 miles, has a population of about 600 people. And so, which, you know, there's people from around the area that go to that church and that. And
Good night, Glenn. Or
good night, Glenn.
Good morning in your case. Okay.
Good morning, Glenn. Get up, get the coffee, Glenn.
Tea, isn't it? It's England. Yeah.
Well, I know some Brits that drink coffee.
I do.
Yeah.
And the thing was, they loved my coffee. I was, you know, you'd always see people put the 3 little scoops in. I had the big scoop. 3, you know, that's a, you know, I have a theory on coffee filter. If the basket filters,
He's a tea drinker.
you owe me $20. Okay.
He's a teetotaler.
But I used to, you know, you got 2 types of filters. You got basket filters and the V-shaped filters.
Mm-hmm.
With the basket filters, I always had a rule of 1 knuckle. That's how much coffee you put in the bottom of the basket filter. And that makes it.
Glenn,
makes a nice dark cup of coffee.
We will let you drink. I think the Queen will let you drink coffee there. I you know, it's the Jubilee year. You caught her in a good mood. Just ask her, you know.
Hey,
say
you want to make the Queen happy? Ask her how her horse did at the Queen's thing.
Say, hey Beth, can I have my Folgers?
You know, I actually have this thing about, I would love to sit down and have just a little, what do they call it? High tea.
Oh yeah.
With the Queen, just to talk about driving military trucks. I used to drive military trucks. She used to drive military trucks. And we could probably tell you all about U-joints and U-joint boots, and, you know, split rim tires, the whole 9 yards. Guys, we've only got 20 seconds left in the show. So me and Bill are going to say good night, everybody. Thank you for showing up. I want to thank all the guests, and I want to thank all the people that made comments. And Joe, love you wherever you're at. You know, we love you. Good night, everybody.
Good night. Oh, they're switched over.
I have slept the surly bonds of earth and danced the skies on laughter-silvered wings. Sunward I've climbed and joined the tumbling mirth of sun-split clouds, and done 100 things you have not dreamed of. wheeled and soared and swung high in the sunlit silence. Hovering there, I've chased the shouting wind along and flung my eager craft through footless halls of air. Up, up the long, delirious, burning blue, I've topped the windswept heights with easy grace, when never lark nor even eagle flew. And while with silent, lifting mind, I've trod the high, untrespassed sanctity of space, put out my hand and touched the face of God.
You know, I don't know how I get suckered into doing this show so often. Good night, everybody.